Hi guys, so I just wanted to do another quick update. Um, it's going to be, I guess I'll do labor and delivery. Um, on November 29th, I was sent, I had another doctor, a follow-up doctor's appointment from my November 27th update or checkup because my blood pressure was so high and I had to go just get tests done and things like that. So November 29th, went back to the doctor first thing in the morning as soon as they were open, and um, they checked my blood pressure again and it was still high, and they wanted to do an ultrasound. So they were like, well, let me call the ultrasound tech because there's not an ultrasound tech every day at my doctor's appointment or doctor's office. They rotate. So she's like, let me call the ultrasound tech, see if she can come here. If not, you'll have to go to the hospital and then come back for the results. So she called the ultrasound tech and she agreed to come just to do my ultrasound. So she came in, did my ultrasound. While she was doing the ultrasound, she she told me that the baby's lungs were really developed, and we could see her doing her practice breathing, which was really cool to see on ultrasound. So that was really nice. But then she also was measuring the fluid, my amniotic fluid. That was the whole reason they were doing my ultrasound, to see how developed her lungs were, and then my amniotic fluid. So they did that ultrasound, they did the amniotic fluid, and while she was doing it, I could see like blue meant that there was a lot and red meant that there was not very much, and there was a whole lot of red on the screen. And so when the ultrasound tech left to go get the doctor, I was like, Donnie, my amniotic fluid is low, like it's low. So she went and got the doctor. I guess she told the doctor what she had found. And so the doctor actually came in and took the ultrasound wand and continued the ultrasound herself, which is not usual. Obviously, there are ultrasound techs to do ultrasounds and doctors to do other things that the doctors need to do. And so the fact that she came in to do the ultrasound, I kind of knew something was up. So after confirming that my amniotic fluid was really low herself, she decided to send me straight to labor and delivery. And she said that my cervix was unfavorable, but she felt with Pitocin and things like that, we could get labor started and all of that good stuff. So I sat and waited in the waiting room in the doctor's office for her to do my paperwork to send me to the hospital with. And then Donnie and I went straight to the hospital, which was just across the street from my doctor's office, and started to get admitted to have an induction. The doctor told me before she sent me, that the baby probably wouldn't be born for 24 hours because my cervix was so unfavorable, but that it should be fine. So went to the hospital, got checked in, and because I had preeclampsia, which was officially my diagnosis between my blood pressure and everything else, um, once they got my bracelet on me for the hospital, they sent down a nurse from labor and delivery with a wheelchair. They would not let me walk up the elevator, right up the elevator, and walk the few little steps to labor and delivery. So they sent an wheelchair for me, and so we got up there, got my IVs and things in, and what they did was they put a balloon in my uterus to stretch me, because I was having contractions and I got to the hospital, so they didn't want to start the Pitocin right away, but they did want to try to stretch my uterus. So they put the balloons in and blew them up, and a few hours later, I decided to go ahead and get the epidural, and that was good because it took my pain away, but it also made me very sick. Every time that they would push more pain medicine, I would get very, very sick. And then just from the pressure from me throwing up so many times, it like forced the balloons out, so it was very painful, even with my epidural. And so it like stretched me super fast and painfully. So those fell out, and so I was at 4 centimeters And then the next morning, doctor came in around 7 and checked me. So it was the 30th, and I was at 6 centimeters. Well, then the doctor came, one of my doctors left, and one of my other doctors came in, because there are 3 doctors in the practice I go to. So one was rotating off and the other came on, and I was still at 6 centimeters, um, late, around 1:45, 2 o'clock. So she said, you're in pain, your body is not really progressing, the baby hasn't dropped into the birth canal. So we can either, if you're really adamant about having a vaginal birth, we can let you keep going for a little while and see how it goes and if you progress any, or we can go ahead and do a C-section. And so I looked at Donnie and I said, what do you think? And he said, whatever you want to do. I've sat and watched you in pain. If you want to go ahead and do a C-section, that's fine. Let's go do it. And so I asked the doctor, I said, do you think that my body will allow me... Okay, sorry, obviously the baby started crying. Um, so, anyway, I asked the doctor if she felt like my body would progress at all, and if she really thought that I could deliver vaginally. And she said she just really didn't think that the baby was going to drop into the birth canal. So I said, because you don't think I'm going to, and I really don't feel like I'm going to, I'm not going to just lay here in pain anymore. I want to go ahead and do the C-section. So she went and got the paperwork, and I had to sign all the paperwork off to have a C-section. And we went downstairs to the operating room, and they took me in first, obviously, and transferred me from one bed to the other, and strapped down my arms to make sure I couldn't move and stuff, and made sure I had enough pain medicine, that I couldn't feel anything going on. So once they got me situated, got the curtain put up, they brought Donnie in, and they wouldn't let him walk around or anything. They brought him in a wheelchair and told him he had to stay in the wheelchair. He could not get up or anything like that. So he came in, and I could feel them I could feel pressure, but I couldn't really feel what was going on. I couldn't feel pain, which was I'm all good with. I didn't want to feel that pain, but it just took a few minutes. But Donnie said that it kind of made him worry a little, because when we were doing the C-section, the lady asked for a stool. Okay, sorry, that was my phone. So the lady asked for a stool, and she got up on the stool and was like pulling with all of her might to get the baby out. So that's why she wouldn't drop into the birth canal. She was lodged somehow, even though she was small, she was lodged and wouldn't drop into the birth canal. So they had a little difficulty getting her out, but when they did finally get her out, and they showed her to me really fast, and then they wrapped her up and put her in Donnie's arms, and they tagged me, her, and Donnie with the same identification bracelets, so that there would be no mix-ups in the hospital and nobody else could get our baby. And so they tagged us, and then they took Donnie and Abigail out up to the nursery to wash her and all of that stuff. So then I was just down in the OR, and they had to close me up and all that good stuff. And then they took me to recovery, and then I felt like I was in recovery forever. Finally, they let me out of recovery, and they were taking me up to my room. And after 5, I finally got to see her. So Abigail Olivia was born November 30th at 2:12 p.m. She weighed 5 pounds and 3 ounces and was 18.5 inches long. And so after 5, I finally got to see her and hold her, and she was teeny, but she was great. She's healthy and so beautiful, and so we're so lucky. And then because I did have a C-section, because of my blood pressure first before that, I was on magnesium during the delivery, and then afterwards they didn't take me off the magnesium until the day after she was born. So I was on it for a really long time. It made me feel really gross and weak and tired. And it gave me a metal taste in my mouth, which was absolutely terrible. But once, because I had a C-section, I couldn't eat after delivery. So it had been about 48 hours since I had eaten anything at all, because they told me not to eat after midnight the night before. I went to the doctor just in case. Um, no, I'm just kidding. They didn't tell me that. I just didn't eat. I had dinner at 7 o'clock and I didn't snack any the night before the appointment. And then then I went to the appointment at 9 and had to go straight to the hospital, and we didn't think to get anything to eat because I knew that I wouldn't be able to eat, but I didn't think that, well, and then Donnie just didn't want to leave me, so he didn't really eat in it either until much later after I was admitted to the hospital, and his brother brought him some food. But so it had been about 48 hours since I had eaten anything. I was starving. The only thing I could have during labor obviously was ice chips, and it was miserable. So Saturday morning, the doctor came in and checked my incision, and they glued my incision. They didn't staple me or stitch me, which I thought was kind of strange, but I mean, whatever. So he came and checked my incision and said that looked really good, and um, told me I could finally eat. So Saturday morning, I finally got something to eat around 10:30 that morning. So I was very excited about that, and so yeah, then Saturday, the nurses came in, they took out my IVs and all of that, and decided to try to get me out of bed, which was excruciatingly painful. When people tell you that recovering from a C-section is tremendously painful, like, I don't even think you can comprehend it unless you've been through a C-section. And so they pulled me up to like a sitting position, and I just like cried and cried and cried. And then from the magnesium making me so weak, it was especially hard for me to get on my feet. So the nurses helped me get on my feet and get into the bathroom because they had finally taken my catheter out, and they wanted me to take a shower just to see so I could feel better. So I took a shower, got up, and then later that night we did a couple laps down the hallway to try to get myself up and moving and feeling better. And then finally Sunday afternoon we were released to come home, and so yeah, then we came home. So that's pretty much my labor and delivery story. It's not that exciting, or but it was very eventful to me, especially seeing as I expected to go in and be able to have a vaginal delivery just with the help of Pitocin, and ended up with a C-section over 24 hours later. So it was a long road, but she was definitely worth it, and um, I'm so glad that she's here and she's healthy, and I can't believe that she's already a month old. And I will do a 1 month update soon. I don't think I'll do it today, but I may do it tomorrow or Saturday. So I'm going to try to catch up on all the videos that I need to make. So anyway, but I will show you really quickly. She's sleeping, so I don't want to move her too much, but she is here and she is healthy and she is adorable. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.